Wait, do you ever get disappointed when you're showing someone something for the first time and you really want them to get it? And
No,
they
not
don't?
at all. I think
Yes.
Matt knew exactly where I was going with that question.
I'm clearly an Eeyore.
I'm probably Drew.
I'm a Christopher Robin with a Pooh Rising.
And then I get in a canoe and I'm like, players don't like canoes.
No, they don't.
I'm afraid of this lake.
That's exactly what it was.
Ow.
It was a beautiful moment in our friendship. I was
literally in the middle of getting ready. I was like, up and down the
Pathetic.
stairs. Ow. I was like, I'm trying to get my hair done. I'm like,
I don't think that's an accurate representation of my owl.
well, you were in such pain you couldn't see clearly. So,
Trauma.
Thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. I'm Matt Young. I'm a theater educator and a parent. And ever since I lost my father to cancer, I have been mildly obsessed with death. This is my last will and testament. James Bertie once wrote, "Boredom is a sign of satisfied ignorance, blunted apprehension, crass sympathies, dull understanding, feeble powers of attention, and irreclaimable weakness of character." Wow, Bertie, you're harsh on my vibe. Today we have a discussion about boredom. Today's episode is brought to you by Unicorn Dust.
In a world where dreams come to life and magic awaits, there's a secret that only the chosen few know. Introducing Unicorn Dust, a sprinkle of enchantment that makes the extraordinary possible. Unicorn Dust, the essence of pure magic and wonder captured in every precious particle. With Unicorn Dust, dreams take flight and imagination knows no bounds. Create, explore, and paint your world with colors that exist only in the realm of imagination. Unicorn Dust, a catalyst for creativity and a gateway to a realm where anything is possible. Watch as laughter fills the air and joy dances on every child's face. Unicorn Dust, a secret bond that brings you closer to the mystical creatures you've always dreamed of. Discover the magic of friendship and embark on extraordinary adventures together. Unicorn Dust, the key to unlocking the extraordinary within you. Unleash the power of Unicorn Dust and let your dreams soar.
Oh, so now you can't speak unless you bring up her name, huh? Is that what it is? We've taken away all of your ability to do anything?
welcome to tonight's performance.
Oh my god.
All right, we have
The
to
temperature
record.
Record,
is-
and I didn't even know. I'm just.
I just did.
He did.
God,
Ever
I'm
so
bored.
slightly.
I'm already bored.
Oh my! Hey, welcome to the Last Will podcast. It's Matt and Grady and Claire, and we're back to talk to you about boredom.
Huh?
Wah, wah, wah.
Just so you have full disclosure, we have been talking for the last hour about a totally unrelated subject that I wish we were recording on,
No.
but we didn't record.
Deep, dark secrets.
There was a lot of deep, dark secrets, and I think you really would have enjoyed them. And
You're not kidding.
everybody revealed a lot about themselves, and I feel closer to these two people right now.
Aw, that's sweet.
And I've always felt close to them, and I wish I could tell you what happened, but
Nope.
Well, if you're going to do a podcast.
wow, I really thought maybe we would shift our subject, even though we don't have any research. I was like, maybe we should do blah blah blah.
No.
But we already did blah, blah, blah. We just didn't record it. So today we're talking about boredom. Boredom. Good gravy.
Which is I was so excited to do this subject.
And
Because
then
I'm like, I'm so in it. I'm in it.
deep.
In the boredom.
I'm never bored.
Ugh, I wish I was
never?
like that.
No.
I feel like that
my
has
mind,
to be a
my
lie.
mind occupies me all the time, so I'm never bored.
See, my mind can race, but I still can find restlessness in it.
Restlessness and boredom are different things, though, aren't they?
I don't think
I
so.
have to be physically engaged in something
Do
to
you-
not be bored.
So
Okay, so it's physical for you.
Well, it's like I have to be if I'm watching a movie and I'm physically and I'm really into
Right.
it, like I'm all in.
are all out.
And if I'm all in, I'm engaged and I'm entertained. But if half of me is in, I can't. This is a new thing. This is a
Okay.
thing over the last couple of months because my life has slowed down a lot. But usually my life is not slow. It's very busy, and I typically don't have time to be bored. But I've been bored lately. I've been
Well, then it's a good subject that we get to. Intellectually as well.
and not stimulated.
Intellectually and
I
physically.
get bored with things. I get bored with people's attitudes.
Yes. I get bored.
Sorry.
I
Yeah,
get
that's
bored with
no.
people.
I know. It's yeah.
I'm like,
I can.
I get bored with people or.
Ugh.
Okay, well,
You know when people just rant at you? I have a lot of people who rant at me, and it's the worst.
it's boring.
It's so boring. It's like you're not giving me an opportunity
Bring a book.
to talk back to you.
It's not a conversation.
No, it's not. It's
They're
like
monologuing at you.
they're monologuing, and you're like, yeah, oh, and then you try to interject it. They don't let you.
Well, I think it's a struggle for people listening in general. Is a
I don't get
struggle for
I don't
people.
get the people who do the ranting. I just don't. I don't relate to that feeling. Like, what is it? What is it?
Ranting. Do
Well-
what is?
Well, okay, maybe not the ranting. A little bit of a lecturing. Like they'll get a subject, and then they will just they'll go off on it, and then they'll keep talking, and all of a sudden it's been 3 minutes.
It's like me when I talk about theater education,
Sorry.
and I'm like, Grady, this is what you have to do, blah, 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 and I'll just lecture about every feeling that I have about it.
You
I
invite
don't-
people
I
to
don't mind
have
that.
conversation with you.
I guess I do feel like I get into the lecture mode.
Last
But
time you did that, I went to the bathroom and came back, and you were still on. So
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
fine.
So you don't mind. See, you have methods. You have what is what am I looking for? Strategies. You have strategies to deal with ranters. No, I totally agree. They're just sometimes that people are talking at you as opposed to talking with you. We were kind of discussing that before we discussed our other pre-topic when we were discussing people and the podcast, and I think that's kind of like exactly the feeling that I get from some of these people. Is it's a lecture and not a conversation. But just to go back just a little bit, Grady, you said aren't being restless and boredom different? And I said no, but what I wanted to say was I think being restless is a product of being bored.
Or is bored,
Yes.
or is it the other way?
For me, I don't think so. I think I get bored and then I get restless. I don't think I get restless.
Explain how it could be the other way.
Yeah, tough guy.
So you said you
Lecture
get,
at us.
You said you get bored and then you get restless. But if you're restless, don't you get bored of that? If you're
No.
restlessly, if you know you're restless and you want to watch something on TV. For me, I'm a YouTubeaholic, so I watch a lot of YouTube, like whatever. But if I'm getting restless with what to watch, then I could possibly get bored and then just give up, and then just put on binaural beats in the headset and close my eyes.
I wish I could do that. I don't think I've ever experienced that. I think restlessness, when it hits me, is out of my control. And so I don't know how to deal with it.
You texted me the other night you were restless.
Yeah.
You're like, what do
Did
I
I change my
this,
pattern?
This was
No.
it was a trap too. He was like, "What do I watch?" ? I was like, "Oh man!" I was like, "I'm gonna throw out 5 things." And Matt's gonna be like,
No.
That's
Understand my mood.
And then I was like, I was trying to. Then I was finally just like, I think we just the conversation just ended itself, which that's what I love about this. Is when you're good friends with somebody, but you don't have to have a wrap up. If someone just doesn't respond to the final thing and it's 12, I'm like, I'm not going. You didn't write me back, and now I'm upset.
Right,
It's just like
Like
the thing was
sometimes-
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Heart.
Like I'll text somebody and then and then they don't text me back,
Yeah,
and then I
fuck it.
sit and ponder it for days, going, "Well, why didn't they respond?"
I don't-
What is it? No, with friends you just
No, you
it
don't.
ends and you'll talk whatever.
Yeah.
Later.
I find lately restlessness has been a physical thing, and it's been, which I think it usually is, but it's taking a toll on I can feel it in my
I was
gut.
touching her. Is it?
It's my solar plexus.
Oh.
I can feel it in
Make
my
your stomach sick?
in my gut. No, it's an energy thing.
Right.
It's not like a physical thing. I mean, it's physical, but it's also an energy thing. So I feel like I want to do something, but I don't know what to do. And you give me 5 ideas, like the movie thing, and I don't want to do any. I don't want to do any of them. It's like, go for a run. No. Even though that sounds like it might break the restlessness kind of thing.
But it's a run, and your knees are like, no, thank you.
God, it's the shins.
Wait, it's the solar plexus, the stomach?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Why
Like
did I always think
core.
it was like the chest?
That's the heart chakra.
Did I fail anatomy?
I mean,
No, you don't learn
Not
that stuff.
anatomy?
It's bleeding into the area, so
You're not
still
learning
in
about that stuff
your
in your
solar
anatomy
plexus
class.
are
It's your chakra class.
Oh.
So the head is your
crown.
chakra,
Okay.
and then
What
you've got
color
your
is that?
it's purple, and then you've got your third eye.
Which is
I think it's like
white,
orange or yellow.
orange.
And
Is-
then you have your
Is this personal, the colors, or no?
This is blue.
I don't know. Yeah, your throat chakra is blue. Then you have your heart chakra, which is it red?
Green,
Oh.
With envy?
maybe.
And then you have your solar plexus, which is like your gut stomach area.
I
And
think
then
I've been making solar plexus jokes wrong my whole life now.
Right,
And then
you
you
have
have
your
your-
Pepperidge Farm area,
and then you have your root chakra,
which is the
which
Pepperidge
is
Farm area.
your tailbone,
All
which
right.
is why are you calling it
Does
Pepperidge Farm? It's
Because
because
he
if
wants
you
to make
eat,
the cookie joke. He wants to make the cookie joke. He is drooling over
I'm
making
not
the
making
cookie
the
joke.
cookie.
Just get it
I don't have
out.
a joke
is it
about
because
cookie.
you
Get it
eat
out there.
too
Nope,
many?
don't have a
If
joke
you
about
have
cookie.
so much Pepperidge Farms,
Pepperidge Farms
you
has
have-
the cookie slogan.
If you're gonna have a cookie, have a cookie.
So if that comes back up, now you know where it comes from. You have to lay the groundwork, right? They didn't know what the setup for the joke is
I
going
don't
to be.
fucking care if they know what it is.
You should. You should.
Well, get ready,
God.
turn it up, because we're about to go wild.
this has been the most unboring morning.
The girls.
It really has. This
Yeah.
is
Okay,
how we're
let's-
tackling boredom. I don't know.
Let's read the definition.
Thank you. That's where I was.
I'm secretly bored right now.
Boredom is a state of mind characterized by a lack of interest, excitement, or stimulation. It is often accompanied by feelings of restlessness, dissatisfaction, and a desire for something more engaging or meaningful to occupy one's time. Boredom can arise when a person perceives their current activities or environment as monotonous, repetitive, unchallenging, or uninteresting. It is a subjective experience, as what one person finds boring may be engaging to another. Boredom can occur. Jesus Christmas. Learn to read. Boredom can occur in various situations, such as during periods of inactivity, when performing repetitive tasks,
Right.
or when there is a lack of
Watching
novelty
John Boyd movies.
or stimulation in one's surroundings. It can be a temporary state or a chronic condition, depending on the individual and their circumstances.
it can be a
I'm
chronic
chronically
condition.
bored, and it is crazy.
I did not know that it could be a chronic condition.
I just got back from the doctor.
I have chronic
I'm
boredom.
chronically bored. It's a thing.
I mean,
I'm taking an H pack for it.
I think that's just called depression.
Right?
Like you, like
Why
you.
did I yell at you?
No, I mean, I sort of feel it's like you really like don't want, but it's like I think chronic boredom is just like you're presented ideas, you're presented things to do, and you don't want to do them.
I get bored with, you're right. I do get bored.
I get bored with diagnosis. Is that what you were going to say? No, I agree, Claire.
get bored
think it is
watching-
depression.
theater.
You get bored with watching theater? You said it, Grady.
Well, I mean,
Grady
it is
said it.
AI that we're reading, and AI is really in question these days.
Really?
I think.
Is it?
But I'm not surprised.
Personally,
that
it is.
people, yeah, it's very controversial.
Yeah,
But what it does is it gathers all the information, and so that's.
I think
that's
we
kinda
should
like
have
what we're
like a
looking for.
screenwriter make our definitions now instead of an
We should
AI.
pay a writer.
We should pay.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Oh wow.
We're
That's,
not,
that's interesting.
I think it's not surprising to me that people are considering it a medical condition these days because they consider so many different things a medical condition. But let's, before we get into the myths, as a teacher, often my students will say, I'm bored, and my diagnosis for that, for going medical, is put your attention on something other than yourself. If you put your attention on something other than yourself, put your attention on your partner,
very true.
then you're not concerned with your immediate need for entertainment or stimulation. You're putting all of that focus on something other than yourself. And so that is a huge way, at least in theater class, to kind of shift that boredom. Because I do believe that a lot of like students, a lot of kids, they will misuse the word boredom and say that they're bored when they really just don't want to do the activity, or they're, in theater class, I'm asking people to take a lot of leaps of faith, to try to make themselves vulnerable. I'm asking them to put themselves out there, and oftentimes they don't want to do that. And so to hide from doing an activity, I say, I'm bored. This is boring. And so
sometimes I find people boring.
I can't argue with that at all.
And in theater class, you have an activity.
Let's name them.
No. Well, I mean, at my job, I'll have to help a customer, and sometimes that customer will start talking about things that I am really not interested in.
Like what they ate,
It's usually
traffic, the weather,
yeah,
chit chat.
Yeah,
Chit-chat's
it's the
boring
chit
as
chat,
fuck.
and
Or even their knowledge of your expertise, they'll probably hit you with.
God, and I am so not. I will be presented. I will make a statement. I'm bored, and then I will be presented an opportunity for activity, and then I will look at that and say, I don't want to do that because that's not entertaining enough. So then I'm back to boredom. And I'm like, that sounds boring.
Claire, you should put your focus on your partner, somebody else in the scene that you're doing, and then that will shift it.
I mean, it works with my kitten.
See, that's perfectly legit, right?
Sometimes, and it does work when I am at work and I have to do something and I don't want to do it, and maybe I'll go to a coworker and I'm like, what do you...
I would think the trap with the kitten, too, is that the kitten will present boredom. Like the kitten will look like it's bored, and then you'll put your attention on the board, and so then you're in a double bored spiral. Was Grady making a face or something?
No.
I just want you to know that there's a word that if Grady brings it up, he's getting kicked out of the room.
I'm not bringing up anything.
And he is dangerously close to getting booted.
I'm going to have a cookie.
Yeah.
And I think he knows he can't really get kicked out right now.
Oh, I'll kick him out in the middle of this thing.
No, that
Wet? It's wet?
That's not the word.
No, I'm sorry, Claire. It's very, very rude. Very
Okay,
rude.
so I'm studying.
I'm just saying, inside jokes don't play that great.
I'm studying for an exam right now, and it's not fun.
Right.
It's not fun. I don't want to do it. It's boring. It's because I'm studying for this exam. I have sworn off doing theater, and I'm not engaged in anything. And I just have to sit down and do my work, and I don't want to do it because it's boring.
No. I do think there's a level of boring as adults that we just have to accept, right?
Yeah.
But I think because of the boredom and because my lack of motivation around this subject, I'm like not retaining the information. Oh. So I'm
in double trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think your boredom with the studies has now leaked into all other aspects of your life, or some of the aspects of your life? Because you said that you're dealing with a big umbrella of boredom in your life at this moment.
Yeah, there is. So I've had a big slowdown, and which is technically like good. You know, my job got a lot less stressful for me. It used to be that I was kind of doing multiple jobs at my job, you know, wearing a lot of hats, and now I'm really just wearing one. And
which is a much better look. The minute you put a hat on top of a hat.
Yeah, which hat do you have on now?
Oh, it's a cute straw hat, like a summer straw hat with a little scarf around it.
Stop it. It's adorable.
That's boring.
Oh no, it's really fun. Yeah,
wow.
no, it's fun.
Before
it was a lot of different shaped hats. They were all like falling off. It was
because you can't put a hat on a hat.
Do you churn butter?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, where were we?
But so I have.
Actually, we're getting bored with each other.
I have no drama in my day.
Do you think you thrive in chaos then?
Yeah, I actually do. My solar plexus is used to
It's not in your chest.
chaos.
Nope.
And so now that I don't have chaos in my life, my body is actually restless. I am restless.
And yet the chaos is unsustainable. Words.
Insubstantial?
No, unsustainable.
Yeah. I'm like
For long periods of
crawling
time.
out of my skin because I'm like, what? I had a little drama at work yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It was exciting.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And I was so... I got upset about something. I
What happened?
acted
Did
out.
somebody drink somebody's insurer?
No, I acted out a little bit. I got upset over something, and
So you caused the drama.
I kind of did, and I had to apologize. But then there were like some systems that my manager brought up to me that I did wrong, and I was like so in my head. I'm leaving work. I'm like, I'm so upset. I can't believe this happened and this happened, and I left.
Felt alive.
I felt alive. I was like, oh my God, like I actually feel normal. Instead of like leaving work and being like, that was a great day, I'm going to go home and eat some dinner and watch some TV and go to sleep. Like, which I can't stand, by the way.
Healthy behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So healthy behavior is throwing me off.
Could you entertain yourself as a child?
Yeah.
I was
yes,
very,
I had to.
very,
I
very
had to.
self-contained, and I was completely fine entertaining myself.
Yeah, I liked it.
I didn't really like anybody going in my room or going through my stuff or being around, so that was fine.
See, I wasn't protective of any of that stuff. I just had to deal with being by myself. When we moved from one town to a new town, not Newtown, but a new town.
A new town.
A new town. I was responsible for just entertaining myself. We lived far away from everybody else. I didn't have any new friends in this new town. And my sister had her issues, so that she was getting a lot of attention from my parents. So I literally had to sit with my toys and just play in the basement most of the time.
Were
And
you
it wasn't-
bored though, or did you have fun?
No, I'm sure I was bored, but I also didn't have a choice. I just had to dive into my imagination, which I think served me later in life. But just to get back, because I don't think we were finished with the Claire
sorry.
thing. Do you wonder if you may have inadvertently, is this even, maybe it's an oxymoron, inadvertently caused the problems on purpose?
Yeah, good question.
Is that a sentence?
Yeah, you needed to light a
don't
little
know.
fire.
I don't know. Maybe
You need to light a little fire to put it out.
Maybe
Like
because
subconsciously
yeah,
you're like,
I don't know. Maybe it's because like, oh, well, this is coming up, and I mean, there was a millisecond that I was like, I have a choice on how to act right now.
oh, really?
Yeah.
And you
And
chose
I was
the dark
like,
side?
I was like, I'm gonna say this
The dark
thing.
side.
I'm gonna say this thing, and I probably shouldn't say it. Yeah.
Wow.
And I,
That's so exciting.
yeah, those moments where you have a choice, but like it was like the dark side kind of took over, and it was like
It's very seductive.
yeah, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna make this point clear, and I had to account for it later. I had to clean up my side of the street.
I feel like, though, you cleaning up your side of the street is not difficult for you at this point in your life. Like when you accept that you did something wrong, you own it.
I have to do that now. Yeah, I used to not do that. I used to fight for the right to be right all the time.
Right.
And now I just can't. I'm trying. I'm by myself in that battle, and I'm losing.
That's boring, isn't it? Though. That's why you give it up. It's boring to try to be right all the time.
It gives me a really bad feeling in my gut. And it maybe not so much my gut, but in my
It's tiresome.
yeah, it is
You know
tiresome.
what's also tiresome is always taking blame. Always saying, yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I say I'm sorry so much in my life.
Well, there's
Then I'm bored
there's
with
that. There's sorry, and then there is I've learned to not say sorry, but to try to take accountability and say that what I did was wrong, and I'm going to do my best not to do that again.
And that whole theory touches in on what we were talking about in terms of forgiveness, which is you may still have your grievances, but to really be accountable, you're saying, I'm putting my grievances aside, and I'm not worried about what you did in this. I'm concerned with what I did, and I'm being accountable for what I did, and that's my amends, I guess. which is really mature.
I mean, this kind of stuff that happens with, an arrow being pointed at me, that's like, Claire, you fucked up.
Yeah.
That makes me really uncomfortable. And that created a non-boring situation for me. But I could still flip a switch and be bored in a second, you know?
But there was that moment where it caused a little chaos, and
and
it was exciting.
And I left work and I was like, maybe I should just find a different job, and we're back to that. And I'm like, wait a minute, all week it's been fine.
Right.
I have a dear friend of mine who has always said, if anybody ever calls him, says, hey, how are you? I'm bored. He'll hang up.
Because it's not his job to fix your boredom.
Like, hey, I'm bored. Like, but you're talking to me now. So bye. Don't call me with your boredom.
Aww.
Hey, I'm bored. Okay, great. Bye.
Really?
For me, it all depends.
I get that.
Like
I get that.
Like if you called me and said I'm bored, I want to help you through your boredom.
Yeah, I'd feel like
would never.
honored.
Yeah, I would never hang up on you.
I would hang up.
Let's play Mad Libs or something. Yeah.
You would hang up on Claire and myself if we called and said we are bored?
I'd probably put the phone up to the TV and you could just watch whatever I was watching. Then you wouldn't be bored.
I don't think that's true. I think you're playing a character right now. I don't think that's true at all.
I am, and her name is Denise.
So if we
Denise,
were
I think you're a shitty person.
so if we were to call you and say, hey, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
First of all, I would never call. I would text.
That's true.
Every time Grady calls me, I'm like, on the phone? Really?
No, you would know because I would say, hey, how are you? And you're like, good, how are you? I'm like, no, but I'm good, but how are you? Then you would know, I need you to tell me about you because I'm bored and I need to start thinking about something else other than
That's different if you
bored I
if
am.
Claire's already learned.
Jump off point is, hey, how are you? Can you talk about your... Well, I had a 0 dark 30. I'm out of it, so I'll be back in it in a minute. I'm not
It's
sure
just,
what I was trying to say.
These days now, it's like when we call each other to say how we're doing, it's almost weird. It's like, hey, what's up? Why are you calling me?
I always have a purpose if I'm calling. You don't think I have a purpose when I call Matt?
No, I think you do. I think you prefer calling, and you're probably right in that text is...
It just at some point after 20 texts, I'm like, listen...
My thumbs are hurting.
Yes, my thumbs are hurting. Ooh, my thumbs is aching. Just toe out. Toe up.
I have never ignored any of your phone calls.
No, you haven't.
I take all of your phone calls.
You do. I appreciate
and
that.
I talk with you for more than 7 minutes.
Yes,
time.
that's true. Is that your limit?
I don't
usually
know
on
what
the
my
phone?
limit. I don't know what my limit is. We don't have phone conversations that are less than 40 minutes. So
No, that's
seven,
true.
7 is just a joke.
Because when I'm on the phone, I am on the phone.
And I have to get to one of my lectures at some point. It's like Grady Theater Education.
Yep.
Blah blah blah.
Exactly. We get to that. You have a presentation, curtain
I've
speech.
never had a Matt lecture, and I don't really want one. I mean, I would accept
There are
it.
more master classes that you didn't know
Hurtful.
you were signed up for.
Okay, that's
But
good.
you
I'll
learn-
accept that.
But you learn something.
Because I've never had that kind of
then just
conversation with Matt.
cold call him. Then cold call him. You'll get it. between the hours of 10:30 and 3, you're definitely going to get a powerful piece. And that might be the package for you.
But I think it's the way he talks is that his sentences have, when I hear his sentences, they have punctuation, they have pauses, they have periods at the end of the
Don't
sentence.
do this, Claire.
So I feel like when I am listening to Matt,
You're not wrong.
there is a point where I feel like I can maybe interject, maybe have my raise my
Maybe.
hand and say something.
Well, I'm always interested.
But
in your
there are
opinion.
people that don't do that. They don't
The
incorporate.
other day on the phone, I said, Grady raised his hand, and Matt goes, yes, in the back. I was like, no, I was like, that's been a volunteer thing. Because I'll do it. Anyway, wow.
No, when I get impassioned by things. I hope I don't lecture, but
No, you do not lecture.
I sent out an email the other day that I got praise on, so I felt pretty good about it.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't.
I didn't see that email, but I got third party praise to you. Yeah.
It was nice.
Did I get an email?
You got that email. It was a welcoming email
No, I
to
love
the
that email.
production
Yeah, that was quite nice.
that we're starting to work on, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But this episode may come out when the show actually goes up, and we haven't even started rehearsals. Anyways, Boredom. Let's get to the myths,
yeah.
right?
Yes. Myths of boredom.
I don't think, just to put a cap on that last thing, I don't think that if you and I, Claire, called Grady and said, I'm bored, that he would hang up on us.
Yeah, I don't think he would.
I wouldn't. I just was saying that's somebody that I know.
Denise. Myths. Boredom is always a negative emotion.
No. I don't.
Well, the saying, too, is that kids need to learn how to deal with their boredom. Like
Entertain
being
yourself.
bored. Yeah, as a kid, you can't be given everything, and sometimes being able to figure out how to work out of your boredom as a child is really good because then you rely on your imagination and all of that.
This is a rock, or is it a
Garbage.
spinning wheel?
Or does the rock have a name?
But is it negative? To me, it is. To me, a boredom is something to get rid of.
Well, you blew it up. You lit it up at work yesterday.
I think that's definitely an interesting. I think you're right. Not even interesting. I think you're right. You are trying to get past it, but I don't think experiencing boredom is always a bad thing.
No.
You know, boredom is negative, and you're trying to get rid of it, but I don't think it's always a bad thing. Number 2, boredom is solely caused by external factors.
No.
No.
Garbage.
No.
My restlessness comes from deep within.
Deep within.
Deep within.
The storm is internal.
Yeah.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Can't top that.
Nope.
Number 3, boredom is a sign of laziness or lack of productivity.
It can be. But
Well-
that doesn't mean laziness is... No, I don't know. No. I mean, it depends.
Explain. You're on a podcast.
ADHD, there's times I can't do things. I can't physically do things. I can't do them. And
Because you can't focus? Or
yeah, that's part of it. Another part, it's hard to explain, but people go, well, that's just laziness. I'm like, it's actually a condition and boredom.
Yeah.
Were we
chronic.
recording?
Well,
Is chronic boredom?
there are things that I feel that I should be doing. You know, there's like one area of my room that I kind of need to go through. It's like got a lot of stuff in there that I got to sift through, things that I've just kind of pushed in a corner. I don't want to do it.
That's your junk drawer.
I don't want to do it. My junk drawer is a special, very special place, and it's got...
it's where memories go to live.
Yeah. But there's a different part of my room that's like, I just avoid it. But if I'm bored and I look at that and I'm like, I could do that. And then I'm like, no.
How dare
I
you
don't
brain
wanna
suggest that?
do that.
Yes.
That's not
Go for a run.
fun. Yeah, exactly. Go for a run. No, you know what I do? I take a nap.
That can definitely get rid of your boredom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, lately I've been napping and then I'll wake up feeling better.
Yeah.
But not always. And I feel a little recharge. It's like always a small nap. No, sometimes my naps are like 1 to 2 hours, but
I am a person who can take a 10-minute siesta, a 15-minute
Yes, I can
snooze,
too.
and will feel better after I do
yeah,
it.
I mean, it does work.
It's rare, but I will sometimes. I will do
I
it.
think if I fall
have
asleep
to
for
put myself down.
Okay.
Well, that sounds terrible, but
No.
no, like I mean,
Grady, you're stupid.
eye
Nap.
mask, like a cold eye mask,
Yeah.
gravity blanket.
Mm-hmm.
I have to put myself down.
Like
Oh, okay.
there's a
I
procedure
have to
in which
make
Yeah.
myself put myself down, and then I probably will.
you need to get yourself a
Yeah.
new chair that reclines.
I've had a situation like that recently
Oh.
where I had to meditate myself
Slap.
down from a high.
Okay.
Yeah.
In, like, the
your
middle of the
cortisol
day or-
levels go out of control.
I don't know what it
That's
was.
what it is.
I think it was the day that I was car shopping and I went to 2 different dealerships.
Oh
and
wow! Why would that charge you up?
it was I don't know. I
Car
couldn't stop.
shopping's so relaxing.
I couldn't stop thinking about it. And like
Yeah.
I hadn't been charged like that on anything. Like I was frantically checking my emails. I was looking at the papers with all the numbers and I was like waiting for this person to text me back and never were they going to call me. I had to meditate.
Yeah. It's a little bit like gambling because you're playing a dealership against another dealership, and yet you're spending a huge amount of money. So
But
there's
say it's a
something
big
about
purchase.
a
A
big
major
purchase.
purchase.
Like,
Yeah, it's a major
like
purchase.
that. That makes a lot of sense. But you weren't doing it to take a nap. You were doing it because you were amped up and you wanted to.
I needed
get a little bit of level.
Or sometimes
Yeah.
you just take the nap because you need to take yourself out of it for a minute.
That's kind of what it was.
I'm like, I'm like, this is it. I got to take myself out of it.
Yeah, the only way that I can do that is like at night, where I try to meditate, or I'll just put sounds in my ears.
Mm-hmm.
What is that
No,
sentence? And turn off the lights and stuff like that because I'm struggling with sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
But during the day, I could just conk.
I
Just
Yeah,
conk out.
isn't that interesting? I'm the same way.
I have enough consciousness to like set a little alarm going. Give me 20 minutes here just in case I don't. I usually wake up before the alarm goes off, but I will do that because just 10 minutes will recharge me.
I mean, anyway, go ahead.
No, I mean, it's we're talking about napping and not minutes. But I do. I agree. Actually, when I take an hour and a half nap or 2 hour nap, I wake up and I'm all confused.
That's
You know?
too much.
Where is it?
That's too
Where are the
long.
kids? Was I supposed to pick up the kids? Are they home from school? Are they in my care at this point?
Good Lord.
Like, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's full
well,
out
because
panic.
when you take a deep nap in
Yep.
the middle of the day, you're going into a REM cycle, and that will. No, you're not.
No,
Are
that
you
just
shaking your-
no. I don't like to do that because
Yeah,
then it'll
it's
mess up
so-
my nighttime.
It's
my
disconcerting.
nighttime's already messed
Yeah.
up.
Well, and I nap because unless I'm really, really tired and I can't lift a finger to do anything. There are days like that, but lately I've been napping because I'm bored and I don't know what to do to pass the time.
Are we boring people right now?
We may be.
Might be.
I'm assuming too. You're looking at the cat, and you're just
The
you're
cat-
not, the cat is modeling that behavior.
That
you're
has
like, yeah,
happened before,
like I do.
but sometimes the cat is just occupied doing something else as somebody else, or he's a little
Rude.
too active, and I'm like,
During
I
the
can't
day?
do this. Oh yeah, he's very playful.
Oh my goodness. Number 4, boredom should always be avoided or eliminated. Come on,
It's
myths-
impossible.
hell can you avoid
it's
boredom?
Impossible. You can't see it coming.
go for a run. All right.
Go for a run.
Some of the
Running is
cliches. I
boring.
feel like it's not getting
So
our attention.
boring.
Some of the cliches are, time drags when you're bored. Yeah.
Yeah, time.
But who
Definitely.
cares? Like, what does that mean? How,
Well, you want it to be like it's 1 o'clock and you want it to be 3 o'clock, and
Or you think it's 3 and you look and go, oh my God, it's only 1.
yeah, that happens.
That's rare for me, but
I find when you're a student that happened more than in any other
when
time.
you're a clock watcher.
Yeah, you just watch the clock.
Being
and
a
it
clock
just-
watcher is
I'm so
it's
bored.
a thankless,
Oh my
thankless,
God.
thankless job we give ourselves.
Yeah. Only boring people get bored.
what?
Yeah.
I am
It's a
so
cliche.
not a boring person,
Amen.
and I'm bored.
Yeah.
So bored. I need to not be boring in order to get out of my boredom.
Yeah.
Like I need to engage in non-boring activities. So I need to make myself not boring.
I
Go
worked.
for a run, shuck some corn.
I had a co-director that I worked with, who I did my first podcast with, Kevin McGuire. And Kevin McGuire used to say to the students every once in a while, he'd go, "You're bored? It's 'cause you're boring." And that was like his direction, saying, "Do something. If you don't have anything to do on stage, that's on you." And that was his phrase for it. And I always used to chuckle. If you're bored, it's because you're boring.
Well, if you're on stage, I think it's
It's a little different.
yeah, it is different because if you are on stage and you are bored, that means you're not doing something.
Yeah. Kevin's default was not nurturing. So,
Oh, it's lovely.
but that's why we balanced each other out. Is that he could come at it with fire, and I could come in and be nice and sweet. Boredom is the enemy of productivity.
Possibly, perhaps.
Yes,
It can be an enemy of productivity.
for sure.
It's not the enemy of productivity.
I was talking to my ex-wife the other day because she's been really into writing for the last couple of years. She's been doing a lot of reading, and she's trying to write, and she wants to figure out everything kind of before she writes it, so that she has a real like frame for how she's writing. And I just keep going
That's
back to
hard.
the idea of Stephen King, who said you just have to set an alarm at 10 o'clock every day. You write, and whether it's good or not, you just write. And so his theory, and what I was kind of preaching to her, was you just have to do it, and you can't worry about what the product is. So if you want to shift that boredom, like as a remedy, you may not feel as productive because it may not be great stuff, but like just getting and doing it is important. Like setting that standard for yourself. So hopefully as an adult, when you can put productivity, you can use productivity as a remedy, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. I look at your faces and they
No.
and they say, "What are you talking
Claire was
about?"
bored.
The enemy of boredom is the enemy of productivity.
Boredom is the enemy
It's
of
pretty much saying that they are opposites.
Yes.
But that productivity is the antidote to boredom. But yeah,
I think, and I guess what I'm trying to say is that productivity doesn't have to be a successful endeavor to what you're doing.
it depends
You
on
just
what kind
have
of
to.
productivity you are. I mean, if you're cleaning,
Yeah.
you're being productive, but that's boring.
Yes.
I like to
Unless
Oh, there
if
you
you
go.
make it a musical,
Yeah.
which I always have to do. I always have
Because
to,
do you sing about the activities, or do you just put
I have,
songs on the radio and sing with
I
them?
have to put music on when I'm cleaning. I have to.
I've put music on when I'm doing everything.
Yeah, or that.
Like I'm cooking, music on.
Yeah.
Or a podcast or whatever. There's got to
Mhm.
be. It's got to be sound. I can't handle the silence.
I have to.
I have
put-
brown noise at home on all day, every day.
I feel like we've discussed brown noise versus white noise.
We have.
Explain it one more time.
White noise is a lot thinner, whereas brown noise has more of more what you're gonna hear like on the plane.
Oh.
And then yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well-
That sounds like something else too.
That sounds like a lawnmower. That sounds-
Anyways, make your own decisions. Boredom breeds mischief. Idle hands.
It definitely can, sure.
I think Claire's story says that pretty clearly.
Yeah.
Boredom is a luxury. What? I think that's right.
I see what
yeah.
that means, yeah, but like that's
You've got everything you need, and you're not wanting for anything, and you're bored, so you're going to go buy a basket, and then you're going to go buy things to put in your basket.
you're gonna go buy a basket.
Yeah, for your house. And then you're going to
Where
buy
are you buying the basket?
home goods.
The place where.
Well, if you don't want to be
goods that fill
bored,
your
that's
home.
where to go is Home Goods.
Exactly.
That or Michael's or
So
somewhere
if
like
you're
that.
bored,
Are
and
you
you can-
you better not be taking shots at Michael's.
I'm not. I'm saying if you don't want to be bored, go to a place like that and overstimulate yourself.
Exactly. But if you are bored,
Bed Bath and Beyond.
and you have the luxury of being bored, so you can go to Home Goods or Michael's and you can design something good for you. You have that time. You have that money.
I do think though the
Are
idea.
you telling
of,
me or are you just talking?
I'm just talking.
Oh, I was like, I don't. Okay.
Just giving you intense eye contact.
Oh, a lecture.
Lucky,
The
right?
got a
There you go.
lecture.
You get to experience it. I do think the statement of boredom feels like a privileged statement.
Yes, it
You know?
totally does.
Unless
you
you're,
can- if you can
unless
dec-
you're
if you can
chronically
declare-
bored.
and that's why.
Then it's medical. That's all medical.
Please get my pillbox. What's wrong, Kathy? I'm getting bored. I can't breathe.
I feel the boredom coming on. Get me my pills.
Oh God, Kathy's getting bored. Somebody get her pills now, please, please. Kathy, hang on. Don't go. Don't go. I
Here's
don't
a
want to
glass
lose
of
you.
water.
I don't want to lose you.
Throw her in the shower.
Rubber throat. It's like a cat. Rubber throat. Get the pill down. Rubber throat. Get the pill gun.
We are going to find out that this is a serious condition. We're going to have to make a retraction.
We're gonna be sued.
I don't know.
Well,
That's
already-
so boring.
We already
Lawsuits
were.
are so
We
boring.
already were about pelvic floor.
Yeah, a trip.
I
We'll
wasn't
get.
even supposed to say that.
Nope.
It's okay.
Because that's a chronic condition.
We'll just have to put a trigger warning.
Okay.
If you deal with chronic boredom,
Chronic.
this episode may be triggering for you.
This episode is the equivalent of flashing lights.
Chronic boredom symptoms.
Oh.
Boredom can make you feel sad, tired, hopeless, uninterested, irritable, and many other difficult emotions. It can be hard to change your circumstances when boredom has reduced your focus and initiative. If boredom has impacted your quality of life, it may be time to look for support.
And what website is this?
It's just the first thing that pops up on Google.
Which is what? From what?
I think it's from WebMD.
Is it? Can you get prescribed medical marijuana for chronic boredom?
Jesus. Recommended for you. What is
That-
narcissism?
Oh, what? How did that
Signs-
come up on your phone?
I don't know. I mean, I just went to the WebMD version of what is a sociopath? Oh my God, what is
Claire,
happening?
What searches are you putting into your phone?
I just went to WebMD for chronic boredom, and now it's like all these things are popping up.
Well, that gets back to boredom being a privilege, then maybe.
I mean, it's what you're talking about in your home. I mean, your phone.
Boredom
hears.
is sociopathic behavior. Isn't it?
No. No, but back to my point, though. I do feel like it feels like a privileged place to make an announcement. I'm
so
bored.
Yeah.
And so it does feel like a luxury.
But
when
you have everything.
You may be bored, but if your life is, if you don't have that privilege, you're probably not going to bring it up or declare it or.
Well, unless you're Dudley Dursley
Or Little
That's true.
Mermaid.
That's true.
or the Little Mermaid.
Yeah. Thingamabobs, they got 20. But who cares? No big deal. She wants more. She's bored.
Yeah, she's a
She's-
little brat.
Yeah, she is a brat.
She's bored with
She
being.
has
and
everything.
She's bored, and then she's like, now I have legs, and I don't want them.
That poor crab
And I've.
is so stressed.
That crab
The
was so much more stressed in the
crab
live
is
version.
stressed out.
Yeah.
The crab is very stressed.
He's very stressed out.
Why is it funny to think of sea life just being like, oh, I can't do this today. Oh, the fucking tuna. Have you ever dealt with tuna?
Well, he has that like Caribbean Jamaican accent too, and he should feel relaxed, and he's not.
How does he get? How did he end up with them? No one else has that accent. They're all like, well,
He blew in from a tropical place. Okay,
blew
we don't
from
know.
a tropical storm.
Yes.
Wait a second. Where is Prince Eric a prince of? Like where
He is a prince of.
Because Triton is like king
Netharia.
of the sea,
He's
right?
the prince of Netharia.
Netharia. I feel
Or
like you're
that's-
making that up.
Netharia is. Oh wait, that's a. Where does the Princess Diaries take place? In
Geneva.
Geneva? No, it's called. They twist
Genovia.
Genovia.
It's Genovia.
Yeah. Where's Genovia again?
It doesn't exist.
I think it's close to the
They
former Czechoslovakia.
They took Geneva and Sokovia.
They made
combined
Genovia.
I
Things are
don't
really
think,
rough.
I don't think Sokovia is real. I think Slakovia is real. I could be
gotta
wrong,
tell
but
you.
Sokovia, I believe, was a city that Ultron lifted into the sky, and they had the Sokovia Accords
Made, like,
based upon that
hundreds of years
tragedy.
after
Transformers: Rise of the
Yeah.
Boredom. Genovia is so boring, guys. Don't you agree?
All
I
right,
know.
so we all admit the
I hate Genovia.
crowd was really stressed. Remedies for boredom.
Run.
Run. Let's see what the paper has to say. There you go. Pursue a hobby or learn something new. Engage in activities that you find enjoyable. God, this seems so obvious, though, right?
But when you're chronically
but
bored,
if you can't-
nothing's enjoyable.
Thank you. Can't find the things that are enjoyable if you're chronically bored.
So, like,
This is like the Golden Girls episode where Dorothy had chronic fatigue and no one believed her because she couldn't get a diagnosis. She had to go to New York with Rose.
tell us
That
more.
was a Golden Girls episode.
Oh, don't
That
you
sounds so
dare! I'm not.
sad.
It's a two-parter, and it's not that sad.
It's.
It brought awareness to
mean-
chronic fatigue syndrome.
I mean, it sounds like I thought Golden Girls was a comedy.
It is. They laugh about chronic fatigue. Look,
In the old 3-camera comedies, there was always 1 or 2 episodes every couple
very
of years.
special episode.
That was a very special episode. Yes.
And
Yes.
this was the very special.
This
episode.
today is our
It
very
must be.
special
So
episode.
wait, Rose went with who?
Rose finally goes with Dorothy to New York to get a proper diagnosis, but no one will give her the diagnosis. And she's like, I know something's wrong with me. I'm tired all the time.
So Dorothy is
Dorothy has chronic fatigue syndrome.
and it's not Blanche, because I know why Blanche is tired.
That Blanche is only.
Matt.
I'm sorry, right?
Matt.
Am I wrong?
Matt.
Okay,
No, you're not wrong.
I thought Blanche was from Streetcar Named Desire.
she is.
She's also in the Golden Girls.
Yes, not the same person.
Oh.
Not the same person.
Yeah. No, not the same person, though. Not the same person.
What were the names of the Golden Girls?
Blanche, Dorothy, Rose, and Sophia.
Oh.
Who were you thinking? Like Darcy,
Well, I'm just
Melanie,
saying- I mean,
Larry,
Blanche,
and Ted?
Dorothy, Rose are all names that are from that period, but Sophia. That's a very
Sophia's the
modern name.
grandmother. She's Dorothy's mom, not the
I think
grandmother. but
Gertrude
she-
would have been too much.
Frances would have been better.
Yeah, Francis.
So you're bored with the names?
Yeah, that's what she's saying.
I don't agree with that.
Oh, sounds like they're all from Genovia.
Better than Slakovia. Explore new experiences. Break out of your routine and try something different.
Yes.
Go to Genovia.
If
Take a ski
only
trip.
You could get off your ass and do it.
I definitely think we're bordering on depression.
Yeah.
Like all of us in real life?
Yes, in real life.
Maybe some of us more than
for
others.
Sure.
I'm dipping my toe in it.
Dabbling.
I'm dabbling in depression.
Um,
I might just try and board him out this week and hope that I can get some pills for
'cause
it.
I feel like we can be
Trying
bored.
pills, so
But depression
bored.
is the thing that prevents us from really
I
doing
think
things.
I think I'm really pushing the depression here. I'm just like, I can't do anything because I'm bored. But really, it's not.
Boredom is a symptom of the depression.
This episode is sponsored by
Well,
Genovalax.
it's because I
Is
could
that for boredom,
actually get-
Genovalax?
I could actually get myself out of the boredom,
Yeah.
but I choose not to. Like there are tasks that I could do at work that
Take a laxative.
that I could be engaging
You won't be
in.
bored.
Well, for Joe
Yeah, but that's just
Joe versus the volcano.
Ovalax, is that what you called it?
Jehovah.
Genovalax.
Genovalax.
Oh,
It's for
When your
boredom.
movements are bored.
Oh God!
no.
Until you're pouring iced tea out of a pitcher, except
gonna-
it's your own
You guys are going to love number
anus.
Okay, what's number 3?
Engage in physical exercise.
Take a walk.
Physical
Go look at
activities can
nature.
help boost your mood, increase energy levels,
Yeah.
and provide a sense of accomplishment.
Yes.
Consider going for a walk,
No.
jogging,
No.
cycling,
No.
participating in a fitness class,
Absolutely not.
or sport.
No.
Eat a sandwich.
Eat a sandwich.
Are you?
Wait,
you,
that was
you,
not on
you,
there.
you added that.
I added that to the thing.
I was like,
Eat a
"Eat sandwich is
sandwich.
fine."
You
Okay, here's what I
play
want.
with your air fryer
Somebody
with nothing
put
in
me
it.
in a machine that will move my body, so I don't have to actually do it myself, and I will
Like
do
one of
that.
the things, the jigglers that they used to have in the 50s that would jiggle you and
They still have those, but they're
Right.
they have like
But they're-
vibrating
right, but now they're
pads
like-
where you could stand on it and it just vibrates your
So
whole
it's
body.
not like the torture machine in the Princess
no, now
Bride.
it's just the things that you stick on
No.
your abs and they make you everything contract and
Oh, yeah,
expand
yeah, I'll
like
do that.
this, and then
Yeah.
you're all of a sudden thin.
Something that'll give me endorphins without me actually having to make them move.
So why don't you go clean that corner of your room?
No.
All right,
You know how
Pippin.
much is in there? I think I need to pay someone to do it for me. And here's a secret. It's not just a corner of my room.
We are learning. We're learning a lot about Claire's room today.
It's a lot.
Like,
It's like a side.
what is it? Like little Debbie wrappers and things? Like, what's
no,
wrong
it's
with?
not. It's not
Like, is it
filth.
food?
It's
It's
just
not. Why is that filth?
It's not wrappers.
Because it's a wrapper.
Yeah, a wrapper.
It's a wrapper,
could
filth.
attract ants, and that could be considered filth.
Yeah. Come
Yeah.
on.
That's what I think.
Give us a fraction. Give us a fraction of the room.
Oh, it's a good. It's a.
Oh no! You should see her face. It just turned to sadness.
I'm bored of your
no.
face.
It's
Not your face in
sadness,
general.
It's
I'm bored.
embarrassment.
I'm bored of the facial expression, not your actual
So
face.
Okay, so let's just
So
say
hurtful.
that it's been really hard for me to be living at home after 3 years of living on my own, where I
Yeah.
had so much space
Yeah.
and I got a lot of things, and then I had to move back home
Understandable.
in a very small area.
Yep.
And I like to buy things and collect things,
Collecting's
but I
good.
just. It's not like I have shelves in my room that are permanent. Like
Right.
I
I
move
get it.
everything around a lot, so I
For sure.
can't put shelves up to put the things up permanently.
Right.
I just have things that I put other things in.
But do
Of
you not
course.
think because this is an impermanent living situation that you're not tackling it because you know that you're leaving that space?
yeah, except I have
And so that's
much.
your excuse to
I
not
just-
do it?
There's that, but there's also like
All the baskets you bought from Home Goods, where are those
Yeah.
living?
yeah,
Well,
They're
baskets
just
can
there.
hold things. There's organized stuff.
You
I-
love, Claire loves
No,
wicker.
I just think
I
that we
don't like
can't
wicker.
ignore the fact that she is dodging the fraction question.
I can't give you a fraction. I'm not gonna get. We're on public.
Radio?
We're in public. I can't.
This is a podcast about vulnerability. I'm not going to force you. I'm just saying that there's something there.
It's the whole
the
thing.
fraction.
It's the whole
100
room.
So there isn't a fraction. It's
It's
100 hundreds.
everywhere you look, there's something.
So you're stepping over issues of self?
I guess. I mean, I don't look
No,
at
I mean
it
the
that way.
magazine. Like, are you
Oh.
stepping? Are you stepping over like piles of magazines?
I wish I
Well,
had magazines.
I am kind of stepping over myself. You're right, and in that sense, it is chronic.
Grady, you're a genius.
Thank
You're
you.
a genius. That was
Thanks.
really good.
Far
no,
from
but
it.
I tried to help myself by eliminating. So I love to collect all the dishes. So what I did was, instead of having the dishes around my room collecting other things, I took all the dishes and I wrapped them in newspaper, and I was going to bring them to my storage unit.
Right.
But I haven't done that yet. So now they're just sitting in boxes and bags in a corner of my room.
What are on the plates?
Well, currently
What are
nothing.
the designs?
But what like
Like
whale
what?
tails, and there's like a one that I bought at a cool pottery store in Cape Cod, and one's like a seashell, and
Is there a brand you like to collect? I collect
No.
Mataheta plates.
no, I mean my mom gives them to me. There's like a couple of heart-shaped ones with crystals in them. Like
So they're all different.
embedded.
Yeah, you're not.
There's a lot of ceramic.
You're not making a place setting. You're collecting
Yeah, it's
cool
yeah.
different
And
plates.
actually, people gift these things.
I was about to say,
Yeah, yeah,
have
yeah,
you ever
'cause
been
yeah.
given
They
a
know
plate
you.
So
that's,
many.
that's embarrassing that you'll never put out?
Look at all the mugs I have.
No, I love
People give
all
me
of the
mugs.
dishes that I've been given.
Sorry. I didn't mean that. I forgot that you just gave me a mug, but I meant the
Like-
kids. The kids give me
I
mugs.
love
a
getting
lot.
mugs as gifts.
Still sitting
Mugs are
here.
great.
Yes.
Plates are great. I'm not judging
The mug I gave you is still sitting here.
because it's art. It's on display. It's
Yeah.
not hiding in the cabinet. All of my other mugs are hiding.
You can take your tone down.
I'm defensive.
Yeah, I understand that.
I have taken your gift and I have shown the world your gift. I've put it on the cookie jar. There is no better display.
Well, because if you're going to have a cookie,
You can't put cookies
have a
in
cookie.
It all comes back around. I can't put cookies in there because the cookies get stale. It's
If you're gonna-
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Some of the other
boring.
remedies as we're wrapping things up. We really did do an hour on boredom,
Oh, good.
which I didn't.
well, I
know
hope
that
it
we
did,
would
I
be able
probably
to.
bored people for 20 minutes till they hung up.
Probably.
No.
Connect with others.
Yes.
No.
Set goals.
No.
Engage in creative outlets.
Yes.
Yes.
Volunteer or help others.
Yes. Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
I thought you were going to say no because it was funnier.
Oh,
Give to charity.
or we're being
No,
real.
Never,
No,
definitely.
Can't give to charity.
Oh.
Don't have any.
Yeah, no.
money.
Volunteer, help others.
Wait.
To me, I think that's part of what I was saying. At the very
Get out of
beginning,
yourself
is
and get, yeah.
Put it on.
Yeah.
Put your focus on
Absolutely.
somebody else.
100%.
Give
pra-
to charity.
Practice mindfulness or meditation.
Yes. That helps. That helps me
Yeah.
because I do think that boredom can be like a state of mind.
I think it scares people, though, the idea of being mindful and meditating when you're bored because you're like, I'm so in my head. How do I get out of my head? And now you're telling me to go deeper into my head.
Mm-hmm.
That I think that becomes intimidating for people.
Well,
Well,
think of
I-
it. You always have to go get yourself. Go get yourself out of your head. Go find yourself and go, hey, come on. Come back.
Well, sometimes
That's
it's
not the
it
way my head
depends.
It's like you're
Conversations work.
spelunking.
It depends on the meditation.
It's like you're spelunking.
The meditation that I've been doing lately has been helping I do some breath work and then I focus on a certain area of my body and then it brings me out of my my
Genovian
slow
sleep.
boredom and it's like, oh, then I just feel a little bit more normal and then I feel a bit more motivated to sometimes I get out of a meditation and I'm hungry
Yeah.
because I was avoiding food or I was
Mm.
too anxious to eat.
Yeah.
So
That
then I
makes
get out of it
sense.
and I feel more relaxed.
I think breathing intimidates. That's what a stupid sentence I'm about to say.
And breathing intimidates people.
Yeah, because the idea of paying attention to your breath.
I don't like breathing. I don't like breathing during exercises. I don't.
No, I don't feel so bad about the sentence that I put out there.
Yeah, no, I completely relate. And
Yeah.
but I think something about lately for me has been it sort of depends on the type of breathing I've been suggested to do. This one meditation I'm doing has you do breathe in like this and breathe out like that and they walk you through it and they
Right.
do it with you. And if I don't have somebody guiding me through a meditation, I can't do it. Or I won't do it.
That makes sense. I think part of it, as I was about to say, what I was going to say is that I think people believe that to counterbalance boredom, they need something exciting. And the idea of breathing slows things down instead of ramps things up. And so I think that people don't understand how valuable it can be to slow things down, to clear your mind, to put your focus on something like breathing as opposed to the judge or the voice in your head or the restlessness in your body.
Well-
I think it can be very, very powerful, but I understand why
Well, I think
people
too
shy
that
away from it.
if we get down to the nitty gritty of boredom, you know, your mind is racing because you're like, I'm bored and I don't want to be bored. How do I fix boredom? And then if you slow your heart rate and you pay attention to what you're really feeling, then
You're like,
you can
I
maybe
miss
get out of
Genovia
it.
so much.
Exactly. Then maybe you can clean that corner of your room.
Maybe you can book that ticket to Genovia.
Yeah.
Let's. It's not the corner. I mean, we discussed that.
It's the whole room.
It's the whole
Stepping
room.
over the stealth.
Let's clean the whole
Yes.
room. Let's
No
organize
magazine.
the whole room. No,
And just one corner at a time. That's what we got to focus
yes,
on.
yes. Baby steps. Baby steps. No, I think you're absolutely right. Boredom is probably a byproduct of a lot of different things that are going on in you, and if you really do have chronic boredom, let's just call it what it is, which is depression.
Well,
you know?
there is a whole lot of information on this on the internet.
On chronic boredom.
Yeah.
We're not experts. Let me just say, I have a Bachelor of Arts in theater, so what the fuck do I know? But it just does seem.
Thank
you.
You know a lot, and I think that we just because we have our
Laughed in
lack
the
of
face of chronic boredom.
well, no, I mean I don't think that our degrees actually have any weight on like how we are as people. In fact, because you're a theater major, you're able to think broadly and specifically and particularly and well. And as an English major, I
Have good grammar.
What?
an English major. I was not sure how that came out.
She's not a speech major. It's
No,
just
but that's
English.
they speak in Genovia, English. They speak English.
No,
Welcome to Genovia.
I think you're right, and the reason that I enjoy talking to the two of you, outside of the fact that I adore both of you, is because as performers, I find you to be very thoughtful and empathetic, and I find actors for the most part to be incredibly empathetic and thoughtful, and I think that makes a difference.
You're not an actor. I don't know.
You are.
You're just a performer.
I don't know who
a
you
reciter,
are. Like, what are
a
you doing
reader
here?
Of things, but that's a whole nother rant that I'll
back
get
to
on at
Genovia
some
with
point.
you.
It's hard
I gotta
to
stop.
be
You
in
do.
theater with people.
You do have to stop.
It's hard to do theater with people who like are studying, you know, like you go backstage and they're doing something that's completely not related to the show. They're not watching it. They're not thinking about it. They're not paying attention.
Oh,
to
that's
it.
giving
I'm
me
like,
anxiety.
I'm like, are you
No.
here? Are you in this?
Don't even look
Right.
at those
Are you
people.
playing
Don't
video
watch.
games
no,
right now?
That's like,
I only do that when I'm in an opera. That's when I disengage. But in normal shows, and when I teach,
Wait, can we?
when I teach,
Let's roll
when I
back a
teach
minute.
theater,
Claire, you want
I'm
to take
like,
that one?
I'm like, guys, you have to leave. You have to put your phones away. You have to start paying and watching what's going on stage.
We're
because
talking about
you're-
being in a show.
No. This is what I'm saying to like the
Oh.
students in the show.
Oh.
They'll be like, when they're not on stage, they'll be with their phones. I was
Nope.
like, you should be with
Take
your
shot
script.
of
You
it.
should
When
be-
have you
should
been
be
in an
watching.
opera?
I've done one opera
You
in
have?
my life. It was recently. I played an executioner. I didn't have to sing. I just came on stage with a big axe, and then I got sad. And
Bored.
That was it.
Oh, I
It
remember.
was not for me.
I remember. that.
Not for me.
Well, I think
A
if
bunch
you're-
of nice people, but
I
it
think
was,
if you're in
you
an
know,
opera and you're not
I'm
bored. yeah, I would
Yeah.
be super bored.
I won't ever get into an opera because of my singing, though. So this was my only way in. And now I've done it, and I have that
Wow.
experience.
Good for you.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
I think we've
we
done enough
crescendoed.
damage.
Yeah.
Well, I have to,
Till next
I
time.
have to head
Yeah.
out because you know where I'm going. Oh, I thought, are we still recording? Oh,
Yeah, of course we're still recording. How would we end? You had a perfect silence to end the podcast, and what did you do? You just let it sit there.
yeah, exactly. Just like I would in Genovia. Well, I'm obsessed with places that don't exist.
I don't know. I can't wait to kick you
So
out.
bored.
How do we end every podcast? Excuse you, Patricia.
So what did we learn? Well, I think we learned that boredom is a you problem and not a us problem or a we problem. I don't know. If you're really bored, what you have to do is you have to put your focus on something other than yourself. Boredom is also a great tool towards creativity. And that boredom, no matter how difficult, is not permanent. Oh, and also another thing. I used the term harsh in my vibe in the intro, and that was ironic because I don't have a vibe or a harshness or a vibe harsh, and it was silly. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to the Last Will podcast. If you like what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend's friend. If you'd like to find us, we can be found at The Last Will Podcast on Instagram, or go to our website at thelastwillpodcast.com. New episodes come out on Wednesdays, wherever you get your podcasts. Till next time, onward, forward.